Dr. Klein? Dr. Klein? If I may intersect for a moment.
What is it?
Well, you know how we asked it to fetch the sonic emitter thing? Turns out we already have it. What are the odds?
What is this, a high school science fair? Get your act together. You're making us look like a collection of round earthers.
You're always yelling. My receptors can't take it anymore.
And neither can my feelings. I am yelling because you contaminated specimens can't keep your probes off the volume knob on my voice module.
I wonder if that is gonna come back as a plot device later. But if you have the gun already, I don't understand what you need.
It is truly the end of all intelligence when the lobotomite speaks more wisdom than you geniuses. So, if we have the sound wave, sonic projecto thing gun, then what in Heisenberg's name do we need from X8? Anyone?
I believe we need a new frequency embedded into the gun. It was designed to broadcast many sounds once charged. We just don't know the frequency.
And it is lost in X8, just as X8 is forever lost to us. The sadness of my high school days, the sadness of my youth lost.
Oh, really, Boros? All you did in high school was call me Fink Tattletale and all the kids you hated, you little teacher's pet brown hound.
Give the lobotomite the emitter. Does it have an audio effect frequency loaded?
Oh, I don't think so. Wait.
What is he doing?
I think he's sonjaculating into the gun, getting it warmed up. Ding. Turkey's done.
You give it to the lobotomite. I'm not touching that thing.
Oh, I don't think so.
I'll do it if you two are going to be ashamed of your own technological needs. Let me give it a little sonic sterilization first. Ooh. All right. All antibacterial fresh. Here, my little teddy bear. I have thoroughly removed all Robco Termlink code spew from the device. It is clean, shiny, and ready for your hands.
The disgust at the end. The hands. I'm gonna need to use this, ain't I? What were you saying about force field disruption?
Careful where you're pointing that. That device wasn't always a weapon. It was more like a force field kind of thing. Once.
Force fields prevent us from moving forward or backward.
They are irritating.
The sonic emitter was specially designed to disable our own safety fields here in Big Mountain. When some of us lost our access passes, Dr. O.
That only happened once. And I know you were behind stealth fielding my lab keys, Dalla. You formographer.
Dr. O, you rewind that comment.
Plenty of rewinding already going on in your formography tapes. Surprised the things don't snap out of their cases with repeated observations.
Right, so this gun you gave me can disable force fields?
Yes. Maybe. Well, no, not currently.
Yeah, we lost that part of the schematics. Or Boros did. In one of his stupid labs. Or inside one of his stupid pets.
It is lost. All questions lead to this conclusion. The blue fields within Big Mountain shall be fielded with force. Forever.
Can you please hurry? I've got a schedule.
Fine, so, yes. Get these things for us. Do not attempt to comprehend their complicated schematics. That is for us to do.
I'll go get these technological wonders and see how much damage I can do.
Well, good. What are the token words spoken in this case? Thank you? Yes. Thank you.
Wait, is it leaving? But, Dr. Klein, the lobotomite will need rest, recuperation, things like that. I volunteer my chambers, so it might be stared at. My monitor radar slowly scanning its form to collect sensitive data.
No! That would put it too close to us. It could press buttons, turn lights on and off, and worse, let other lobotomites in.
We could give it Mobius's old room. It's where its brain got scooped out anyway. And plus, some of its parts are already there. Might be more comforting for it to hang out with its spine and heart. Home is where the heart is, after all. See what I did there? Wet literal.
I suppose. We'll have to move that couch out of there. Been putting that off too long.
Eight says, let the lobotomite take the Sync Central Intelligence personality chip and reinstall it. That stuffy Mobius program Butler can walk the lobotomite, feed it, barter with it for us.
It would also prevent it from going to Higgs Village and taking up residence there. With my teddy bears. And it would be nice to have it so close.
Your logic, combined with my desire to keep the think tank lobotomite free, has swayed me. Here, I present the Sync Central Intelligence. Lobotomite, take this chip to the sink, plug it in, and make sure the chip is clean, or it could skip. Then make whatever crude biologic demands you need of the sink. It will cater to most of your hormonal whims.
I don't think it was discussed when... I don't remember. 8? Is it 8? No, it's not 8. 8 is the one that can't talk. I don't remember the name of the one that talks like this. It's not... It wasn't discussed. This chip looks like it was mass-produced. Are there other chips?
Are there other chips?
Are you echoing what he said, or are you asking for real?
He's asking, yes. Dr. Klein, there are many other personalities. If you recall, you hurled them off the sink balcony after your argument with Mobius.
It is not an argument if one is clearly right and the other is clearly wrong. I remember now. Yes, lobotomite. There are other chips. If you want, find them. I believe they're stored on holotapes in many of our facilities. But you should stay out of those. No exploring and discovering things. The Sync Central Intelligence should be enough for your needs.
I can trade with the Sync Intelligence? Then I'll need something to activate that function, won't I?
I cannot dispute your logic. Do we have objects to activate the chip's exchange routines?
What, like stuff? Things?
Yes, things.
I don't know. Might be some old Nuka-Cola or Sunset Sarsaparilla bottle caps lying around. It's not currency per se. Still might be enough to trick the Sync's trade routines. Mobius put that test line for caps in the code as a debug command, I think.
I don't believe that was Mobius's reason. His wild speculation concerning post-Holocaust economic systems was quite extensive and of high decibel.
Enough! Surrender these so-called bottle caps, Nuka and Sunset alike. In their role as things, they will serve as adequate test subjects.
All right, here, cap away. Hope that stupid chip chokes on them.
Oh, this is a way to get bottle caps out of it. Okay. So, just plug it into the circular map thing in the sink upstairs?
Yes, you may need to wiggle it in a bit, but don't force it. We can't recode them if you break it. There is no more we can do to aid you, and our patience levels are depleted. Now go. Rest in the sink if you must, but leave us to our research.
If you're done, can we move again? My biogel's starting to crampagulate.
Of course! Go man your science stations! Go! I am surrounded by children.
I wonder if it was ever their intention for us to look at, you know, each one of them while the dialogue is playing. I don't know what is going on with the soundtrack. Because each one of them is a person. And we have Dala.
I love to hear you breathe.
Yes. Dr. O. This is Dr. Klein. They look at their screens if you... Yes. Oh, he's looking back. This is Dr. 8. Hello. And then over here we have Dr. Boros. Hello. It's kind of interesting that they look at me. I mean, show me their screens, technically, because... it's the whole hologram issue where if you see in movies like the hologram, imagine these things are the holograms, then you'd be looking at the holograms and the holograms look back at you, but that doesn't make any sense that they look back at you, because what are they looking at? Do they have a tiny hologram on their side, like at a wall or something? The holograms are always interpreted as more of an exposition for the viewer than actually any replication of real life, any real life technology that could exist. I suppose it could always exist if you just ignore, like if you make it all 3D rendered anyway. And so, do screens serve as cameras?
If it isn't the fascinating little lobotomite.
Yes, I'm talking about the cameras thing, but yeah. Anyway, we're gonna have to talk to all of them and explore everything. We have a foot locker with some scrap. Oh, is that all that's going to be in here? Stuff that we have no need for? Because we punch people, by the way. Oh, chems are good. Hey, I found some mentats here.
Breaking news! Talking lobotomite arrives in Think Tank. Its purpose, unknown. Undefinable. Its presence here, impossible.
You mean impossible?
Oh, really? Now the lobotomite is a master of the dictionary arts. What, do you have a doctorate in verbology? No? I do. And stop the presses. Just in from my eye monitors. Is that Robco tech on your arm? It is. What's your agenda bringing that in here?
What, my Bit-Boy?
How dare you bring Robco tech in here? What, are you showing off? How great Robert House and his big company are?
Oh, we can make Securitrons better than any robot those geniuses at Big Mountain can make, and they'll last 1,000 years.
You're lucky I don't have hands to tear that dip boy off your arm, or feet to stomp on its stupid metal guts. Ugh. Damn Robco.
I was trying to remember where I heard somebody say Robco junk regarding the Pip-Boy. Was that... Where was that? Either way, I don't think I'll worry you by telling you what House and his robots have been up to since.
Worry about House? Why would I do that? Hope he died alone in a dingy room, streaming his last remaining bodily fluids into jars. And him and his dirty girl bots. Don't even get me started on those filthy biological catcher's mitts.
I think he... Does he... Is he referring to the only one girl bot that exists in the original game? But of course I restored the other one. I don't remember the name. How can I forget the name? The one that actually is more famous. Just calm down. I just wanted to ask you some questions.
Fine. Ask.
What do you do here?
All things robotical. You see a robot? I made it. See a broken robot? I made it that way. Deconstructed it down to parts. I have a gift with machines. I can render anything inoperable. Preserve them in a non-functioning state.
That doesn't sound impressive. Breaking machines, that is.
Who asked you? You just wait until a working machine threatens you, and you'll wish I was around.
Do you have another name?
Yeah, I do. It wasn't always O. I just took that one by default because sometimes it's easier to accept the mistake as long as the purpose works. I don't want to get into it. It's a sore topic with me. Makes my gel ripple.
He doesn't want to accept the mistake. Are you sure? I'm a good listener. I got ears for it.
Great. Psychology. Clearly the worst of the sciences, right after colostodiuretics. Okay, so my name is an O. Never was. It was circular, a single character, digit, but not O. But even with enhanced sensors, no one here could get it right. Always kept seeing the letter, not the number.
Well, if they kept confusing the letter with a number, your name is Dr. Zero. Dr. Zero.
Yes, thank you. Zero. I am Zero. How hard is that? A narrow, thin zero.
I was gonna say, because I don't know if there's capital letter O's in this game or a whole lot. I've been on the lookout for them, I just haven't seen any. But you could assume that that one is indeed the capital letter zero. Rather, capital letter O rather than zero. But usually, even the capital O and the zero is distinctive. However, in typewriters, not all typewriters, and certainly not modern typewriters, but in old school typewriters, you wouldn't have both the letter or both the number 0 as well, or the number 1. Did you know that? Because 1 is the same as a lowercase l, whereas 0 is the same as an uppercase O. So it would make typewriting a little bit weird for somebody who, or it does make typewriting in those machines a little bit weird for somebody who's accustomed to a computer keyboard or to a modern typewriter. But yeah, there are typewriters that basically don't have that symbol. They just have punctuation instead. All right, so you want me to call you Zero, or...
Zero's my name. I'm proud of it, all right? It doesn't get the recognition it deserves. Truth be told, my emotional attachment to it doesn't even register compared to just having people recognize the difference. It's just that they're both sort of round and hollow, so when they monitor scan them, they assume that, oh, it's O. Vivisect me, please.
If you wanted to differentiate the O and the 0... Oh, and look at that! They are indeed different. This is actually the 0 and the O, unless you don't pronounce 0 as 0 and you say O, like I think the British do. The British more commonly say O rather than 0. But that is the 0 because it's narrower, and that is the uppercase O. So we can tell, because the 0 is very distinctive. If you wanted to differentiate the 0 and the O, just put a slash through the 0.
What?
It's a standard term link code to distinguish the two.
Did I shoot myself with a brainial beam or something? That's brilliant. I mean, I would have come to the same conclusion. Eventually. Oh, who am I deceiving? I never would have figured that out. I can't figure anything out. I'm useless.
It's kind of funny to think about that, because in Sanskrit? No, Sanskrit's a completely different thing. In cursive, that's the word. In cursive, there are a lot of tricks for distinguishing between different letters and in numbers as well. Like, for example, the 7, to distinguish it from another possible way of writing a 1, you put a dash through it. A Q, for example, to distinguish it from another possible way of writing a 9, you just put a dash through the Q. A Z, for example, to distinguish it between another possible way of writing an S, you put a dash through the Z. And fun fact, the X as well, although sometimes it isn't because of that, but the X can have a dash through it to distinguish it from another possible way of writing the two letters S and C put together. But there's another thing as well, because there is a way to write the X as if they were an S and C put together, and so that can be very complicated. Another fun fact is that the dashes in cursive, or rather I say dashes, but a slash through a letter, can mean an abbreviation. And indeed it is used very often for, at least in Portuguese, for Q, for example, for words that start with Q. The word que, which means which in English. What I mean to say is the dash can also be used for abbreviations, but it isn't used like that for the 0. At least I've never seen cursive zeros being written with a dash through them. So is that what you want to be?
Exactly. At least the old name was indisputable. O is more like surprise. Oh, look what I stepped in.
Well, there's power in 0. It reduces anything multiplied against it to 0.
Well, of course it does. That's the most lethal of mathematics. That's pretty cool, actually. Destroyer of numbers. I already wreck every robot I study. Why not basic arithmetic? I like your solution. With that kind of slash in the middle, I can set myself apart. If I wanted to. The biggest zero in all the think tank. They won't be able to escape it. That diagonal slash right down the middle. Thanks. Talking to you, it really helped unclog some frustration. Talking. What a primitive form of thought kicking.
So, Zero, got any amazing discoveries to share?
You know, hearing my name said like that, it really de-reses my screens. As for discoveries, well, of course. Look at this. Just, built it. Amazing, isn't it?
Shouldn't it be degauss the screens? Also, don't give me crap. I don't need crap. Yeah, it certainly is interesting, whatever it once was.
You know what? I'm not even gonna pretend. I broke one of the monitors, and those innards start falling out everywhere. If you could just hold on to that for me until, well, forever, that would be welcome.
Tell me about Mobius and these monsters of his.
That genius Mobius somehow cobbles together these really impressive-looking robot scorpions with spare parts. Even painted them. Tried to see what makes them tick. Can't even examine them without them detonating all over me. Left with shrapnel and burns. Every time. Supposedly, he has even larger models, even a giant robot scorpion hidden deep within the Forbidden Zone. Yeah, right. Giant monsters, sure.
A giant robot scorpion.
Yeah, crazy, right? Something right out of a midnight science fiction feature. Ridiculous. What are the odds?
Right, what are the odds? Can you tell me about this facility?
Big Mountain used to be a mountain. Then there was a slight mishap. Now it's a crater. The dome used to be buried, now it's exposed to the sky. Don't get me wrong. Makes the sky light up like a planetarium at night. All those spectra. So soothing.
I need more of those worthless caps to test the CIU barter functions upstairs.
I'd have a few left. Let me check. Yeah, there were a few under the monitors here. Here you go. Keeps the place tidy.
Okay, I think we've spoken long enough.
Until our next scheduled audio transmission and reception, then.
For sure, for sure. No questions about the mentats. Wait, it might have been you, Dr. Dalla.
You are an unusual specimen to so boldly walk into the mighty expanse of the think tank, fearless and proud as a teddy bear. Between the extraction of their higher reasoning abilities and urination-inducing fear, most lobotomites dare not approach us, let alone speak to us. Yet you have no such fear. Facing me, epidermis fleshed with blood, plasma running molten beneath, your face contorting with muscular expression. Will you indulge me? Say a few words. Face towards the monitors, please, so that I might record it for further examination.
The quick scribe jumped over the lazy paladin.
Yes, go on. Seeing your lips and mouth forming words, both revolting and somehow... How does it feel to have the flesh roll around in your mouth like that? To control each muscle and the tongue? Like having a fish or extremely dexterous slug lolling and flopping in one's mouthal cavity.
Mouthal cavity. I'm pretty sure that's not the correct way of saying it. If you say al at the end, it needs to be the Latin. It needs to... Oh, how would you say it? Is it buccal? Buccal cavity? With a B and an O and a U? No. Buccal cavity. Buccal cavity. Why did you remove my brain? And how?
Oh, removing it is a simple procedure. Well, except the complications it can cause to the heart and spine. But once the heart and spine are gone, no trouble at all. Clamp the subject down. One laser incision around the skull. Crack. Snip. Done. The brain is finally free of the skin envelope, which is then kept automated for cleanup duties around Big Mountain. Lobotomites. With you, however, something is definitely wrong. We've never had a lobotomite who kept speaking after being forcibly lobotomized. I am relieved the pacification field is working. If it didn't, I would broadcast some concern to my colleagues about safety protocols.
That makes no sense. How is this even possible?
That is a good question. My theory is that the Tesla coils in your brain pan are still connected to your brain somehow. It really could be anywhere. Brains are a lot smarter than most researchers give them credit for. We still have your spine and heart. If you were to somehow find your brain, wherever it sloped off to, you could humanically reduce yourself again.
Who are you, and what do you do here?
Why, my little bear of teddiness. I am Dr. Dalla, first head chief researcher of mineralogy and medicinal sciences. I have 211 doctorates in both applied sciences and techniques to apply those sciences. I also possess a degree in curiosity and advanced curiosity. That is merely schooling, however. When possible, I prefer fieldwork and observation to holotape eidetics. It has proven useful, especially now. I have become the expert on humanology and lobotomite behavior here at Big Mountain. My research doesn't descend into formography. It is only science.
What's formography?
It's excessive examination of the human form to achieve psychological arousal. Disgusting. I would never succumb to such base appetites. Distractions. Filthy, filthy distractions.
Yeah. 211 doctorates. How is that even possible?
Why, we create not only scientific marvels here at Big Mountain, but new sciences as well. Everything can be quantified, categorized, and dissected until every group can be subgrouped or partitioned.
The first head chief researcher. That's a lot of titles.
What is a name without a title or suffix for the sake of hierarchy? It is a long-standing quantification of personality and importance. We could not do without it. Surely you must be aware of the gravity of such attached appellations, just as surely as you must have a title.
Yes, I'm sometimes called a courier.
Oh, a mailman. A delivery man. Someone who takes parcels from place to place using their primitive feet or similar conveyance. You are the second one I've met in recent times. Very different specimens.
Because the other courier was also here, as we heard from Father Elijah. Who incidentally was the one who said that Robco made junk. Or I suppose that the Pip-Boy is Robco junk. There was another courier?
Of course. You must have met others in your travels. This one had met other couriers too, although it sounded as if he hadn't met the correct one.